Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and today I'm taking you into the world of fairy tales. And that would be such a good entrance for the first episode. Now it's kinda not working. It's still world of fairy tales and so on, but it's too late. Anywho, welcome. We are playing, of course, Chronotopia second skin. I do believe we are slowly but surely, I would say maybe even crawling, because I can't say we have a fast pace over here. So we are crawling slowly but surely to the ending, I think. I mean, you can't tell me there will be one more prince or whatever after that, right? Please. If there is supposed to be someone after those three, let it be a princess. A real one, because Kionna is kinda not good at that. Anyway. Dude, I had to do this right off the bat. Sometime later, the princess that is not good at it made a new trip to the city, this time assisted by her lady-in-waiting, who is absolutely more beautiful than the main character. I would always pick that lady-in-waiting over Kionna. They'd barely walked past the castle's gate when exasperation started to loom over them. Where would you like to go, madame? I've not yet decided. I simply meant to stroll here and there. Okay. Points for Kionna for doing exactly that. I like that approach. I feel like if you try to plan and, well, the plans don't go well, you kinda get disappointed. While if you walk around like that, you are more likely to find something nice, something interesting, and so on. Anyhow. I'm sorry I cannot let you wander in the Noah Street if you don't have a specific plan in mind. Please name at least one shop you would like to visit. What is this new rule? Special request of the king. He wishes to know your itineraries after the fact, if not in advance. Well, he will be bothered to learn that I have none. Discovery first. One lifetime is long enough to do more than just shopping. In that case, such as heading for Albaro, a small town located not too far from the citadel. It includes splendid villas that belong to quite renowned aristocratic families. In particular, a few of the master's friends live there. I don't want to have tea with his business partners. I was rather hoping to go near Sotoripa. I would have liked to see the porticos in front of the harbor. You said you didn't have any plans. You filthy liar. Points taken away from you now. That was fast. The harbor? You cannot be serious, madame. It is den of rascals saturated with all sorts of con artists ready to leap on you. Louis, on you, I would understand. On her, who would want that? Stop alarming needlessly. The harbor is bound to be a high-traffic area. There is nothing surprising about the fact it will attract swindlers. Madame, you know nothing of the dangers looking there. I could not care less. I would like to take a walk along the shore, and I will do exactly that. But if we were to greet Lord Boniface of Albaro, he could show us around town safely. Who? By contradicting and tormenting Kionna again and again, Louis finally obtained that they go to Albaro. Control freak! Let's go! Actually not let's go, because he's annoying as fuck with that. It's crazy. The king truly is a control freak. In the way that, you know, forces kind of I mean, I guess he didn't force there where she's supposed. Oh, who knows? Maybe he told Louis to, like, lead Kionna to whatever destination, but at the same time, No, I mean, how do I get it? I mean, I don't have the control freak traits, I would say, but it's nice to know where someone goes, basically. Someone you supposedly care about. Does anyone know what I mean? We know this guy, the king, or whatever his name was. I know what his name was, but you know, I also don't care. Cause he's weird. If he could, he would basically lock her up in the room. Basically what I'm getting at is the lengths he's going to is way too far. Not but. The lengths he's going to is way too far. What I think is a normal thing is basically knowing where someone goes, and it's just that. Stop at that. Where are you going? Okay, cool. Have fun. And you know, if someone doesn't return or whatever, then you know where to go to search for the person, sort of. I don't know if that makes any sense, whatever. And that is how the princess spent a rather boring afternoon in the properties of the local wealthy lords, exchanging hollow courtesies. I mean, she should be used to that. At no time could she obtain a walk other than a visit of the house her hosts were boasting around. Heh. When Genesee congratulated her for following his advice and paying a visit to his friends, she was so tremendously annoyed that she glared at him and it quite simply cut him off mid-sentence. He did not dare approach her for 2 days after that. What an amazing couple! When the Chris showed the willingness to go to Sutripa during her next excursion, the servant repeated the same little game to convince her otherwise. She thought, not without reason, that if she had managed to make her yield once, she could repeat that feat every subsequent time. This failed to take her tenacity into account. Whose tenacity? Before the time fixed for her outing, Kionna rushed to the garden and summoned her godmother away from prying eyes. I mean, again... then again, I mean, we can still blame Kionna without, like... without restraints, I would say. Why would you marry someone after knowing that person for 2 days? It's ridiculous. The magical gust of wind soon revealed her figure.
Oh, do you need my company again? Your presence is always pleasant to me, Dormetia, but this is how I am calling you forth. I would like to have another of your enchanted gadgets. Denied.
Anyway,
You have my full attention. I seem to recall that in some timelines you had made me invisible.
I mean, you don't really have to, like, recall that. That's a fact. That happens every time you tried to escape the castle of your father by boat. You think I would forget that? Anywho.
You had made me invisible so that I could escape also. Was that lady back in the background moving around?
No, it's a bee, okay.
So that I could...
I totally did not read until I saw. Okay.
So that I could escape my father's castle dressed in a donkey skin. Used a sort of fair veil.
Again, why are we not moving back in time to before that ridiculous question? A wish of yours to have the donkey skinned, basically. You really only think of yourself, Kionna, don't you?
I see what kind of object it could be. Am I to understand you would like me to use the same spell again? Your enchantment was quite useful, but its effect was only temporary. Would it be possible to make me invisible whenever I want with an object I could carry with me everywhere without arousing suspicion? Well, it should not be too complicated. Thank you very much, godmother. Thanks to you, I will finally be able to rid myself of the bothersome nanny my husband gave me. So he still does not trust you?
I mean, he's a control freak. Yes.
Alas, he does not. I have the impression of being treated like a little girl.
I mean, technically you are still underage, but yeah.
It is unsufferable. If at least he would let me go out without sensationalizing the event. I hesitate over concealing myself with the donkey skin to be able to walk around Kionna incognito. And then realized I would need to cross the palace in this garb before even reaching the outside, and I cannot risk being caught by the servants. So I thought that you could help me.
Do you not have the freaking chest? You know what I'm talking about. The one with the freaking... You know, the one that pops up from under the ground. You could literally walk past. And then switch clothes somewhere else. Ah, whatever. Whatever. Not like she has brain, so you know.
Ah, is that not what I do best? It appears I am more valiant knight than good fairy. I am your debt for coming to my rescue so generously.
She shouldn't have. She really shouldn't have.
But if you are to take the place of the knight, the reason that I take yours. Playing the damsel, this does not suit me.
And what is supposedly suiting? Wait, what? Don't be ridiculous, Kionna. You're too dumb to take Medea's place. Way too dumb.
Oh, come study magic with me, then we will talk.
Please don't teach her any of that. She's literally the worst kind of person that could be wielding magic. Anywho. Without losing her characteristic eloquence, Medea gestured her protege to stay silent and started a magic ritual she thought she recognized. I mean, given the fact that she already done that, yes, you would recognize that.
Here is a hazel road. When you need hit your head with with this hazel rod, and you will immediately become invisible. You will not need to repeat the process to be seen again. Hit it as hard as you possibly can, by the way. I trust you, so do not lose it.
And 5 minutes later. Uh-oh.
Even more so if you are invisible. You do not want to be stuck like this for the rest of your life. I cannot think enough, godmother. How about something's bothering me? And what is that? It's just that you lent me the same object when I needed to make a magical chest filled with my most beautiful clothes appear. Does this mean that any object I touch with the rod is going to become invisible?
The creature stared at her with a mix of confusion and marvel.
Well, your explanation is quite good. There is clearly consistency. At the risk of disappointing you, this is not how the hazel rod works. So there is no risk of inadvertently making your husband disappear.
Aww.
Oh, I thought I had finally grasped part of your powers.
No, you didn't.
What is the explanation then, if mine is incorrect? Nothing can stop you, eh? You are just like your mother. Like a...
Oh, so you mean she was also annoying as hell?
Am I so tactless?
Yes.
I will not insist in this knowledge is forbidden to mortals. I would simply like to understand how magic works.
Medea sighed. So did I. The young woman thought that she was going to scold her, but that was not the case.
It is not every day a human giant takes interest in our magic's nature. Very well, I will reveal my secret.
Don't! Not her! Why would you tell to her? Don't! No! With a solemn look, she invited Kionna to closely examine the hazel rod.
This harmless piece of wood actually works like a receptacle. I infused it with magic. It drove all kinds of objects can be suitable, provided the fairy is seasoned enough, but hail is especially appropriate as it is a magical plant. Ooh, I heard about that.
No, you didn't. Stop lying.
Hail is reputed to be used by druids during incantations. Exactly. Some cultures use it to reveal hidden knowledge. In the present case, I've simply sealed a spell inside the rod. Thus, each time you shake it with a swift movement of the hand and hit yourself in the head, it automatically casts that spell or cancels if it was effective until then.
I mean, I added hit in the head because she's supposed to hit herself in the head.
So that is how your gadgets work. But what is the point of sealing charms inside something inanimate?
What a fucking dumbass. What a dumbass. Can you cast it on your own? No, so that's why she's done that, for heaven's sake.
For a magical creature, there are very few applications, as you already know how to use magic. You may find fairies lazy enough to infuse everyday objects to make their life easier, but that is all. The true appeal of the bewitched hazel rod is that you can entrust it to a human without risk.
I literally just have answered her question, by the way.
Really? I not think it was that it was specifically intended for us.
So dumb. So dumb.
In the past, fairies would grant the slightest request of humans themselves.
Why?
And the latter had the unfortunate tendency to exploit this to the extent that some fairies were stuck on Earth for years, doomed to tirelessly repeat the same spells.
Wow.
Yet we need to regularly return to the world tree to regenerate. Some of my predecessors foolishly died because of humans' greed.
Yeah, sadly humans are greedy. Especially royalty.
Worse still, we revealed snippets of our knowledge to men and had devastating consequences. We swore not to divulge it so easily ever again. Understand better now. Thanks to our little gadgets, we do not need to be physically present at every moment. Besides, you would be surprised to know how quickly it can take a turn for the worse when you give too much power to a single individual. If I had directly entrusted with the invisibility spell, you could have used it or used it against me. Whereas with a rod, you can only do what you promised to do. It makes sense. I'm still disappointed. I could have learned some rudimentary magic under the old system.
How about no?
And gain control over time without any supervision? Fuck you. What a great idea. Do you not think that the situation is complicated enough as it is, you dumbass? You're right. Regardless, I'm grateful for your assistance, godmother. The pleasure is mine.
Nah. She helps her way too easily as well. But they vanished with the wind as Louise's voice echoes through the corridors.
Madame, where are you? I think this is my cue to leave.
Translating words into actions, the young woman took hold of the hazel rod and hit herself in the head with it. Suddenly, she did not lose consciousness. No sooner had she done so than her body became as thin and transparent as fabric. In order to make sure that nobody could see her, she approached the fountain to better look at her reflection. And she had none.
She's a vampire!
Speaking of vampires, I need to... Can I do it today, I wonder? I could if I invested time. Sort of. Because I did start watching the newest Castlevania. I don't know if I like it, to be honest. The previous ones, they were good. This one, I don't know. I'm not sold on the idea. Whatever. Whatever. Maybe I'll watch something else. Satisfied, she put the precious object in her pocket And you know this is a lie. We all know. And that's a terrible thing, by the way, that women's clothes don't have pockets big enough to store something like that. Come on. You've got to be on my side with this one, right? Still, I wonder why are pockets for like women's jeans and whatever not with bigger capacity? Okay. Slimming silhouettes provided a difficult backdrop for large packets, causing them to shrink and become more decorative pieces rather than utilitarian. Men's clothing still used pockets as a staple, but women began their full transition to the handbag, which continued on until the 1920s. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Let's see. The pockets on women's jeans average just 5.6 inches. More of the pockets of women's jeans are 48% shorter and 6.5% narrower than men's pockets, making women's jeans pockets miniature versions of their brethren, regardless of jeans style. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, makes sense given that most women tend to have like purse or whatever. So they would, you know, or handbag, yeah. For it's the same thing, right? But still, some of them maybe don't like carrying that around, right? Whatever. Anywho. And walked through the place's gate with remarkable poise. She could not help smiling upon hearing the servants panic about her disappearance and entered the city. Once she was certain to be out of sight, she broke the spell.
Forward, I have still many things to see.
By the way, if anything, I really like the soundtrack in this game. Especially now that I stopped blasting it at very high volume for myself. Now it's like, you know, super nice. It was a beautiful and warm summer afternoon. Over here it started snowing yesterday. The streets were bustling with life, and it would have been criminal not to enjoy the moment. Travelers were speedily heading for the city's inn to take a welcome rest. The whole world seemed to have arranged to meet at Genoa, and she very much liked that feeling. Upon walking along the harbor, Kionna once again dawdled in the merchant's area. Two gentlemen were in the midst of a debate. They were talking so loudly that she felt drawn and started eavesdropping to learn a bit more about the subject of their heated conversation. They look the same. Brothers from the same mother?
The future lies in the sugar trade, as I've said all along. Of course, not the spice, as so that there is pepper, but I have intuition and recognize a good opportunity when I see one.
I read that savory meals are not common even as desserts. You're being stubborn with your sugar.
Meanwhile, USA. Everything is sugary.
The issue is that all traders sell traditional spices. You have no differentiate yourself somehow. Besides, don't forget that Venetians are on every case. If we want to have a shot at exerting more influence, we need to explore new possibilities to remain one step ahead.
It's true that Venetians are ruthless in business. They're damaging our reputation.
Above all, we're aiming for the same market too, so there is bound to be a strong rivalry between us. We need to find a new battleground. What are your areas of import?
Oh, I was like everyone else. I resell spices from Egyptian merchants in France and sometimes England too.
You're selling spices in England? What a waste. I mean, they don't know what spices are.
We do have a...
Vader's tea. That's it.
We do have multiple in Provence, but this isn't nearly enough. We do need to aim further. Always further. The North Sea, for instance, or Granada.
That's Spain.
It's all well and good, but what do you do about pirates, man? The further you travel on the ocean, the more likely you are to encounter them. And I wouldn't wish you to be taken hostage or killed while they steal all your gold.
That's true, and that's precisely why I want to set up shop at a trading post in the east.
Yeah. I don't feel secure there. Yeah.
See?
But I still remain confident that sugar trade is booming market.
The princess moved away from the two chatterboxes deep in thought.
If I'm to believe their words, the spices in my father's castle or in Lord Grisel's castle must come from Genevans who had bought them on this very spot.
You don't know that. Her curiosity piqued even more. She headed for the marketplace and stopped at a colorful stall that seemed quite promising. It was covered with big containers filled to the brim with powder and dried flowers, spices, herbs, and infusions. Upon walking next to each archons that each one was emitting a different scent, and by reflex she leaned to smell one. Noticing Christy, the owner approached her, all smiles.
Are you interested in our spices, miss? I have more than 200 of them, and dozens of different kinds of pepper. You find something for every meal. Oh, I do not know if my husband is going to approve. Don't act shy. Take a sniff. For instance, this is a curry-based homemade preparation, ideal for a good leg of lamb. And this one is a mix of cordon bouillons. In winter, when it's colder, it's a real delight for your palate. Oh, it is true that it smells heavenly good.
Yes. Spices, yes.
I'm unfortunately not in charge of the kitchens, but I could perhaps take a little something for myself. What do you have to offer? Oh, what about some herbal tea? It will do your heart a world of good and warm you during hard times. Here, breathe in some Buddha's rest. There are hints of vanilla and lemongrass. What a funny name. And it's not the only one. We call this small pile Panda Snap. It's made of apple, grape, papaya, pineapple, and bamboo.
That sounds so good.
And this one?
The English Garden.
It's made using pear, chamomile, strawberry, raspberry, and rose.
I don't know if I would like that one, to be honest. Pear, Is it a tea? I don't know, like strawberry and rose for tea doesn't work for me for some reason. Anyway.
I like it, Frankenslot. I think this is the one I'm going to try out. I'll give you 50 grams. You can always come back for more when you want it.
Kionna handed the shopkeeper a few crowns and retrieved a tiny cloth packet containing the precious vegetal aromas. As she was turning around, rather abruptly she collided with a passerby.
My apologies, madame.
The stranger's warm voice awakened a rush of nostalgia. She therefore completely turned to better see him. Her heart skipped a bit upon discovering a more than familiar face. I think I know who that is. Yeah, I thought so.
Is everything alright?
Ghost from the past, meet an old friend achievement. It was the face of Georges, the peddler she had encountered during her stay at Clermont. He had been her only friend, her only solace. She still remembered their long meetings, all the stories only he knew how to tell. And then the incident happened. Her fault. The damn day of her altercation with Gemma. She did not know exactly what had pushed her into using violence. Really? It's becoming so vicious. Really? But she had hit the both of them.
There is no way I'm staying in this madhouse another minute. I'll never set foot here again. Farewell!
And here he was, reappearing suddenly as jovial as in her memories. Again, would be so cool if he was able to remember that. I know it's maybe a bad thing to say by me, but would be quiet. I will be quite alright with that. What was he doing here? In Geno's market. What's the sign? He's a traveling merchant. What's so surprising about him being there? The princess was shamed for behaving so badly, for having destroyed their friendship that way. If God was allowing their paths to cross again, then she had to seize the opportunity to make amends. He did not know her yet. It was still possible to make a fresh start and erase her past errors. No. That's no. You are not repairing anything here.
You're quite pale. Could I have hurt you?
Kionna was abruptly brought back to reality. She floundered.
No, everything's fine. I'm sorry for knocking you over like that. I was looking elsewhere.
What a relief.
Georges was about to continue on his way. She had to act quickly.
I'm genuinely sorry for my blunder. How can I read it myself?
It is quite charitable, but the mistake was mutual, and there is no reason for you to pay the price. You can consider this mishap to be forgotten already. Hehe.
I insist. There's truly nothing I can do that could be useful to you.
She's so weird.
Well, I'm merchants. I always seem to sell products. Would you like to become my assistant for today?
Gladly.
The most useless assistant ever. The young man, who had only been joking, seemed surprised by so much eagerness. However, he acquiesced with great gentleness and took her a few steps away.
I usually place myself here to work. It's a strategic zone. Not to visit so that I'm not lost in the crowd. Not too far away from the hub where all business occurred. I habitually sell useful goods, but today's an exception. I recently had the opportunity to acquire at a low price a crate of spices from a bankrupt trader who was trying to get rid of it. My goal is to sell off my stocks as soon as possible in order to become mobile again and visit all the markets of France and Italy.
So traveling all the time. What a lovely life it must be.
Let us say that it is a fitting lifestyle for my personality. I'm quite certain a wealthy maiden such as yourself enjoys benefits I would never dare claim for myself.
Kionna rolled her eyes.
If only he knew how sad my life is.
You've chosen it yourself, so shut up! The peddler understood her expression and changed the subject.
Before we even start, may I know who I'm honored to have as an assistant?
My name's Kionna. I'm the wife of King Genesee.
Me? And you should want to stay with me.
Very much so. I came to the market to learn more about my people, and I believe this exercise will be quite instructive. Pretend you do not know who I am.
Well, I would not want to disoblige. My name is Georges, and I'm merely a merchant who travels the roads.
Pleased to meet ya. I look forward to helping we bring this business to fruition.
The merchant was still reluctant to make the queen work, but he eventually played along. After a brief explanation of the spice's properties, he entrusted her with a mission. A sample in her possession, she had to accost other great ladies to ask them if they needed Ceylon cinnamon. Okay, and I don't like cinnamon, by the way. And accordingly direct them to his improvised stall. Dude, I'm not even saying that because, you know, Kionna is selling that. I just don't like cinnamon. Or, yeah, basically anything that has cinnamon in it. Not a fan. I don't get the love for it. For his part, he was taking care of demonstrations, singing the praises of the product and collecting the money. The tasks being devilishly well distributed, they set to work. Fairly quickly, a small crowd of customers gathered around them. What the hell, they are cute. Since Kionna was impressively stylish, in what universe? And showcased the luxurious side of cinnamon so well, Genoa's middle-class ladies strongly desired to look like her. Why? You look better. Without even knowing her position, after all, very few people had the opportunity of setting eyes on the queen. They already wanted to meet her. Again, why? You look better.
Here, fair ladies. I have a miraculous product, Ceylon cinnamon.
By the way, now that I think about it, that was not his voice in the previous loop. I guess it changed as well.
A spoonful of cinnamon.
I mean, if it was powdered, you could say spoonful, but whatever.
Mixed with honey.
I like honey for.
Right after supper, does wonders as a cough medicine.
Dude, yeah. Again, not cinnamon for. But tea plus honey, yes, this is the way to go. Not gonna lie. To be fair, I think like for the... in the last week and a half, something like that. That's how I managed to fight back, I do believe, like, my throat getting, you know, sickish a little bit. Like, I think, like, every day I felt like something was attacking and so on. But yeah, I managed to fight it back also. Wait, how? What? Supposedly someone called me like a minute ago. What the heck? What's this number? Oh, negative reputation. First comment. Possibly someone... someone psycho. Okay. I mean, I do sort of wait for a certain call, but yeah, this seems like a... this is like a number that I don't want to call back. Anywho.
Well, this is also an excellent way to overcome your husband's shortcomings.
Really?
Rest in peace, husband of rich lady 1.
Absolutely, someone can treat everything: indigestions, rheumatisms, ladies' cramps, urinary infections, and toothache.
But what is the difference with regular cinnamon? Is it only the color that differs?
Considering that it is also mixed with honey, it might actually taste good.
Far from it. Cassia cinnamon, which has the characteristic dark brown color, comes from China. Cassia cinnamon is harvested from the bark of cassia trees and is much less perfumed.
Oh. Oh! Oh! That might be something I would like, actually.
What's more, it possesses less medicinal properties and it is said that it could be harmful to eat in large doses. This one comes from the island of Ceylon, not far from the East Indies, and is harvested from the bark of Cinnamonum verum trees. Its price is admittedly higher, but is a higher quality product.
How can one tell the difference between the two?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you look carefully, you'll notice that Ceylon cinnamon is made of thin layers of bark rolled up on themselves, whereas the Chinese cassia is only made of a single thick layer. Legend has it that Queen Hatshepsut sent out an expedition to the land of Punt to retrieve some, as Egyptians would use it to embalm their mummies.
I will take you 50 grams. Ooh, 100 for me.
Seems like that was an easy sell. After just a few hours, George's already humble stocks were sold off. He only kept a tiny sachet of cinnamon to be able to carry it on the road with him and sell it in smaller quantities.
Ah, what a night it's been. I've rarely made so much money. It should be said that I usually never sell luxury items either. I was right to accept this opportunity. Besides, I certainly could not have done it so successfully without your help. You've been a perfect assistant.
I'm very happy to hear that I fulfilled my mission. Those last few hours have been exhausting, but also rather entertaining. I think I'm starting to develop a taste for the merchant life.
Oh, you should not. It is not healthy. The fact remains that I'm deeply indebted to you, and so I'm keen to reward your efforts. A queen such as you must not be worried about gold, but I'm ready to give some to you or anything you fancy to show my gratitude.
Oh, it is quite nice of you, Georges, but I cannot accept.
I insist. It would not be fair to set up again when I have taken advantage of your labor without giving anything in return.
Very well. If you really want to, there is something I desire which I believe should be within your capabilities.
Do tell, madam.
Give me your friendship. I ask for nothing more.
Oh, my friendship.
That would be a beautiful reward.
Georges was left speechless as he did not expect such a request. Yet it only took him a few seconds to consider that this princess was decidedly an interesting fellow.
Well, how could I refuse to grant such an adorable wish? If my friendship is enough, I'll gladly give it to you.
Kinky. As it was getting late, Kionna had to return to the palace and regretfully parted ways with her comrade. She promised she would come see him again and help him as much as he would need it before vanishing into the streets. But, not like he will be in town. She was so happy to have reconciled with her former friend that she had no fears facing jealousy. He could lose patience, try as he might to convince her to remain reasonable. By any means, she could not care less.
My dear, it is too late to play the compromise card. You had suggested one that I graciously accepted, and you still betrayed my trust by trying to prevent me from coming and going as I wished. Thus, I will no longer listen to you, and I will go to the city as much as it will strike my fancy.
Damn! I mean, it's good that she's standing up like that. Finally! She might become likable a little bit. With that message being said, let's end it here and we'll continue tomorrow. Anywho, that was a good one. You know what? I'm sort of glad that she's run into Georges and, was able to spend time with him. And so on. Not like he can remember, of course, because it's a different loop. But, I mean, good for her. Good for her. Hopefully she can really change for better. She needs that. She needs that. That's for sure. With that being said, let's end it. We'll, I believe, continue tomorrow. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.